More than 10 years after the occasions of the main film, the film starts with Jake Soyle portraying his humble and quiet life as head of the Omaticaya faction and raising a family with his significant other Neytiri, which incorporates his children Nedium and Loeke and his girl Tuk, his embraced little girl Kiri, brought into the world from effortlessness Augustine's lethargic Nausicaa symbol, and a human kid named Bug, the child of Miles Quaritch, who was brought into the world on Pandora however. Couldn't be moved to Earth in cryostasis as a baby. While Jake can acknowledge Insect as a took-on child, Neytiri is incredulous of him given his human starting points. In any case, every one of the youngsters blend and mingle well with one another including Bug, whom Kiri is tender with despite the fact that he is a human. Insect doesn't embrace his human legacy and feels more lean to Nausica's culture and customs. They carry on with a typical existence until one day they notice a weird star in the night sky. Sadly, they understand it's a RDA space transport with people getting back to Pandora to colonize it, raising another super working base once more, making critical obliteration Pandora. Among the fresh debuts in the boat is Colonel Quaritch, who has been cloned into a Nausicaa's body and with his recollections transferred from before his demise. Accordingly, Quaritch can't recall his downfall on account of Jake however is simply ready to remember the occasions previously and his wrathful mission to dispose of Jake. To keep the RDA from taking advantage of Pandora once more, Jake drives an essential guerrilla activity against the RDA supply lines, debilitating them. In one of the tasks, Loeke, who defies Nedium and is anxious to show what him can do as a Nausicaa's fighter, attempts to help Jake in fight however is injured. Jake protects and teaches him to not jeopardize his own well-being by being crazy. That evening, while at the same time keeping an eye on his injuries, Neytiri tranquilly reminds Jake to be not excessively unforgiving with Loeke, to which Jake communicates his anxiety as a dad for the security of his youngsters. In the meantime, the retaliatory strike on the RDA supply lines doesn't agree with Quaritch, who starts a pursuit mission to kill Jake. During a fun-loving endeavor, Jake's kids alongside Insect investigate further into the rainforest. Unbeknownst to them, Quaritch and his group are in the area investigating the site where Quaritch finds his human remaining parts. An attentive Loeke sees their presence and rapidly illuminates Jake. An engagement follows and Quaritch's crew catches Jake's kids. Jake and Neytiri show up in time and free the greater part of them, yet Bug is taken by Quaritch, who remembers him as his child. On board the boat, the RDA attempts to pressure data about Jake from Bug, whom declines. Evolving system, Quaritch tends to Bug as his child and furthermore to make sense of more about the Nausicaa in return for his opportunity on his side. In spite of the fact that unhelpful and ignorant about Quaritch's genuine mission, Bug shows Quaritch Nausicaa's culture. Quaritch is likewise effectively ready to tame a Nikran flying animal as his vehicle. Realizing the risk Bug's information on his whereabouts stances to their well-being and furthermore to keep away from another disaster, Jake persuades a hesitant Neytiri and his family to expel themselves from the Omaticaya faction and retreat toward the eastern seaboard of Metkayina, a coral reef island whose group and way of life is adjusted to Pandora's seagoing territory. Jake gives his central mantle to his replacement and passes on altogether to Metkayina. Once showed up, they are welcomed by the group boss Tanawari and his better half Ronald, who is dubious of them at first. Notwithstanding, Jake makes sense of their circumstance and they are consented to remain and given cover. Despite the fact that a few tribesmen mock Jake and his kids for their hereditary human legacy, the family learns the methods of the reef individuals, gaining the appreciation of them. Kiri is entranced with the oceanic existence of Metkayina and fosters a profound bond with the ocean and its animals, while Loeke gets to know Cyria, the little girl of group boss Tanawari and his better half Ronald. While adjusting to their new climate, Loeke gets into a battle with Cyria's sibling Aonon when he pokes a rough fun at Kiri and him of their blended human genealogy. Jake scolds his child for his way of behaving. At Jake's demand, Loeke gets back to apologize to Aonon and his companions. Notwithstanding, they tempt him to an excursion into the domain of a perilous ocean hunter, the Akula, and leave him abandoned in retribution. The Akula attempts to go after Loeke. Nonetheless, Loeke is saved by and gets to know Payokan, a Tulkan, an insightful and pacifistic cetacean species whom the Metkayina think about their otherworldly family. Loeke can speak with Payokan through marking and eliminates an old spearhead from the monster's right blade. Upon his revisitation of Metkayina, boss Tanawari, who became mindful of Aonun's deceiving of Loake, requests that the previous apologize to Loake. Nonetheless, Loake assumes the fault himself, winning Aonun's fellowship. He is additionally informed that Payokan is an untouchable among his species. In the meantime, out traveling to a branch off of the Tree of Spirits, Kiri joins with it to meet her mom, yet experiences a savage seizure. She is recuperated by Ronald. However, when Jake calls Norm Spellman and Max Patel for help, Quaritch can follow them to the archipelago where the reef individuals reside. Carrying Bug with him, he seized a whaling vessel which is hunting Tulkuns to collect their mind compounds for making hostile to maturing cures. Quaritch starts to severely scrutinize the native clans about Jake's area. Bombing that, he arranges the whaling team to wantonly kill the Tulkuns to draw Jake out. Loake intellectually interfaces with Payokan and discovers that the Tulkun was projected out on the grounds that he conflicted with the methods of his species and went after the whalers who killed his mom. At the point when the Metkayina learn of the Tulkun butchers, Loake takes off to caution Payokan, trailed by his kin, Cyriet and Aonung. They find Payokan being pursued by the whalers, and Loake, Kiri and Tuck are caught by Quaritch. With their youngsters at serious risk, Jake, Neytiri and the Metkayina set off to face the people. Quaritch powers Jake to give up. However, seeing his spirit sibling endangered, Payokan assaults the whalers, setting off a battle which kills the greater part of the group and basically harms the vessel, making it sink. Netium salvages Loake and Insect, however is lethally shot. Jake faces Quaritch, who involves Kiri as a prisoner. At the point when Neytiri does likewise with Bug, Quaritch at first denies his child, however halts when Neytiri cuts Insect on the chest.